I'm moderator this evening, but it's their show. These are the candidates for North Huron's municipal election 2014. First on the agenda, I'll just go over some of the ground rules. There will be an opportunity for each candidate to introduce themselves. They have up to 3 minutes. I'll be timing. Then we'll have a break. Considering the number, that will take us quite a while. We'll have a break. During break, you're welcome to put your name in the paint can on the back table. If you wish to ask a question during the question period, I'll be drawing a name at random. We'll just go down the list. Okay, is everybody, there's pens back there, there's slips of paper. So at break, if you wish to ask a question, put your name in the hat and they'll be drawn at random. Okay, the questions. Questions can be no longer than 30 seconds. Any longer than that, you're making a speech, and it's their show. They'll have up to a minute to answer, so we'll keep it brief. We're finishing at 9 o'clock, or as soon after that as we can manage. I do thank the Legion for hosting this event, and thank you all for coming. It's quite an evening. It's an exciting time for North Huron. To decide the order in which the candidates speak, what we've done is I've got some assistance from some folks at the press table. We've just drawn numbers. So the order in which people speak has already been decided. We're not going in alphabetical order. Everybody always does that. We decided to do things a little differently. First to speak will be the candidates for school trustee. And let's see, Mr. Shank, you're representing Colleen. 3 minutes.
Thank you very much for allowing me to deliver this message on Colleen's behalf. A family emergency has arisen and Colleen has gone to be with family in Boston. Colleen is very honored to serve as your school trustee, and she's asked me to deliver her sincere regrets that she cannot be here this evening. Now, Colleen and I have lived in Huron County for 37 years. We've raised our 3 children here, and now our grandson has been born here. Colleen has been a school trustee for 19 years, and she has served multiple terms as the chair and as the vice chair of the school board. She was also elected 4 times as the president of the Ontario Public School Boards Association, which is the main group advocating for education to the government. At the time that she was serving as president, Kathleen Wynne was the Minister of Education, and so they met frequently to discuss education matters. So Colleen has considerable experience at working personally with Premier Wynne, particularly when she has been able to speak to the unique needs of our area. Colleen graduated from Ryerson University as a landscape architect. She then worked for the Ministry of Natural Resources designing provincial parks. She's a very community-minded person. She was a founding director of MAD, Huron Bruce, Habitat for Humanity, Huron County. She also served as a director of the Huron Employment Liaison and the Wingham Planning Advisory Committee, the Wingham Figure Skating Club, and the Huron-Perth Foundation for Enriching Education. In Colleen's own words, "It is an honor to serve you as the trustee for Howick, Morris Turnberry, and North Huron. I take great pride in representing you on the Avon-Maitland District School Board and in working collaboratively with my board colleagues and our excellent staff to ensure that our students are getting a world-class education. It has also been a privilege to ensure that our unique concerns are taken into account at the provincial level through the Ontario Public School Boards Association. Over the past 19 years, we have faced some substantial challenges, including declining enrollment, the changing needs of the workforce, and tight budgets. But fortunately, we have been up to the challenge, and I am proud of what we have accomplished. A new state-of-the-art Maitland River Elementary School that provides an improved environment for learning and an enhanced range of opportunities. full-day early learning, specialist high skills majors to enhance pathways to the trades, and balanced budgets without sacrificing programming. Those of you that know me know that I am a proud part of this community, both inside and outside our schools. I regularly attend school committee meetings, fundraisers, graduations, and other events. My own 3 children are products of our system, and my grandson is on his way. Please feel free to call or email me. My door is always open. I ask for your support once again this year. It is all about the kids. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right on time, to the second, literally. Okay, and Mr. Sterenke.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow candidates, I'm not a novice to the education process. I worked for many years at Vanier College in Montreal, a community college of 6,000 students, 400 teachers, and 40 senior administrators. As an educational specialist, my main function was to integrate teachers and students into the new technologies. Not an easy task, as college teachers proved to be an independent lot. Constant talks, meetings, workshops, budgets, persuasion attack were necessary but not always successful. From the chalkboard to the smartboard, from the typewriter to the computer, from the projector to the TV screen to the internet and web design, it was a never-ending task to keep up with the ever-changing innovations in technology. The learning curve was Himalayan. 2, I was involved with the annual college recruitment drive, touring various local high schools, talking to students about our college programs. Twice I was elected to the college's academic council. I raised over $3,000 for a homeless center and a child's aid center with my Chefs for Charity Christmas dinners. But then, in 2006, crossing the bridge over the Maitland at Roxton changed all that. I could not just retire, wither away, fall asleep on my lawnmower, become an Olympic snowblower. I'm definitely not a snowbird. I began to curl. I involved myself in fundraising for the Wingham Hospital Recruiting Committee. I sat on the Wingham Golf and Curling Club board. I also ran for Deputy Reeve in Howick. Recently, I did fundraising for the Heart and Stroke Foundation. We all know that education is a difficult endeavor. It is in the news constantly. Everyone has an opinion, either privately, around the kitchen table, or publicly at PTA meetings. But I believe that it is with your school trustee and the community that local education issues can be raised and resolved. It is with your school trustee and the teachers that we can continue the drive towards excellence for all our students. It is with your school trustee and the Ministry of Education that we can maintain the integrity of the educational system. In conclusion, my educational experience has given me the social skills necessary to provide a positive input in the changing world of education. Therefore, I ask for your support to be your school trustee for North Huron, Morris Turnberg, and Howick. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, the trustee candidates are departing for another meeting.
In Belgrade.
In Belgrade. Okay, the next group that we'll hear from are candidates for Reeve, and they will speak in the following order: Bernie Bailey, Neil Vincent, and Steve Hill. So, Bernie, you're used to going first.
Good evening, everybody. If you're sitting in the audience tonight, you and I have at least one thing in common. We care about North Huron. I have learned much in my life as a business owner through employment, volunteer work, as a son, a dad, and as a proud resident of a small community. I've learned that being positive, proactive, and a good listener makes the difference. I have done a lot of extra learning over the last 4 years on council with North Huron. This is what I want to talk to you about tonight, but I only have 3 minutes, so I'm carefully viewing a few points. One of the comments that I've heard quite often is, this should have been done 5 years ago. This should have been done 10 years ago. This should have been done. Because North Huron has completed a strategic and official plan, North Huron can now move to the heart of the biggest challenges, and that's where we are. First, the cost of running a vibrant, well-serviced municipality that is attractive to current residents and potential ones can cause elevated taxes if we're not careful. I have dedicated my time as a councillor to scrutinizing the budget line by line, week by week, and asking a lot of tough questions, and this has made a difference. The rate of taxes increased annually have been kept low, and this is remarkable, and this needs to be noted. As Reeve, I will continue to watch over your budget, our budget. All the while knowing that more financial cuts are coming from upper tier governments and headed our way, so we need to be prepared and wise. I firmly believe that we need to develop a solid plan to bring business and industry to North Huron. I have personally done a lot of research, visited a number of small communities around us to see what they are doing and see if we can implement some of their strategies. This isn't good enough. We need to be unique and open-minded and seek new ideas. For example, we need to be open to shared spaces, collaborative work, customized lands, and agreements based on needs of businesses willing to commit to North Huron. As Reeve, I will encourage Council to move in this direction. Third, we need to work with our neighboring councils in a respectful manner. I am proud to say that I have done this. It was not easy given the circumstances, but I know that I have a positive attitude and I listen well, and this too made a difference. I will continue to do this. Of course, there is so much more that needs to be done, and I cannot share it all now. I encourage you to come out to the council meetings. See what really goes on. Understand the challenges and take in the celebrations because we have many of them. I have been hard, it will be hard, and I will continue to be. I have been hard, and it has been hard, and it will continue to be. I get that. 5, 10, 15 years from now, people will say, Bernie Bailey as Reeve, the council got it done. Thank you for your time, and know that I both need and appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. Next to speak, Neil Vincent.
Service. It flows smoothly, almost effortlessly. Everything is nourished by it. Superior service has an ease about it. It is most conspicuous in its absence. Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen, I strive to serve my community. I believe in promoting my community and our people at every chance available. This is why I attend as many events as I can in North Huron to have first-hand knowledge and a contact network. As a council, we have reason to be proud of the many accomplishments of the past term. The Wingham Maiden Street rebuild, Town Hall upgrades, the splash pad renewal, Wingham Trailer Park and the Legion Agreement, Reed Road Landfill Development Plan, East Wallinosh getting its first tar and chip road, Blythe developing to accommodate ESTC students and theater crowd, Blythe well and water planning. And last but not least, the engineering for the Blythe Mill Street Storm Sewer Project. Thanks to my family for allowing me to be able to drop everything at home to respond immediately when needed for township business. The position of Reeve of North Huron requires someone with a very understanding family, as the township will take priority ahead of personal family matters or business. All too often, this results in as much of a marriage to the township as to my wife. This job deserves to be treated with honor and respect, never embarrassing yourself or your municipality by words or action that would reflect poorly on the township. True leadership is having all the council working for the community, not just pushing my own ideas. I do not have a cottage at the lake, but I do have a farm on the river, so I'm always available when needed. My favorite Chinese proverb, he who throws dirt loses ground. This is why I try to stay positive, to encourage others as well as myself to sing the praises of where we live, work, and play. My experience and conscience prevents me from making false promises just to get elected. I promise to continue working to the best of my ability with my experience and contacts to get North Huron projects accomplished. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And our third speaker, our third candidate for Reeve is Steve Hill.
I'm Reeve candidate Steve Hill, and I'd like the opportunity to serve the people of North Huron. If honored with the position of Reeve, I will do it for free as stated in the blue flyer at the door there. The flyer also lists several items I feel need addressed before our community can start to move forward. My priorities would be to have all our facilities and infrastructure brought up to current standards. That includes removing and replacing lead pipe in our water system, fire suppression system at town hall so Heritage Theater and famous players can return, clear our sidewalks and walking trails in the winter, cease all non-essential spending, remove roadkill from our streets, allow public input at council meetings before decisions are made, switch to the free service of the Ombudsman, and video record and archive all closed sessions of council as the Ombudsman recommends. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And those are the 3 candidates for Reeve. Next on the list, the candidates for Blythe, and they will speak in the following order. Brock Vodden first, Brad Carther second, Bill Knott third, and Lori McPherson fourth. So, Brock?
Thank you very much, Pauline. Just one look at me and you know I've had a lot of experience. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to stand before you and request your support, at least the support from the Blythe Ward. I have a lot of experience. I've been on this council for 5 years, and prior to that I had a great deal of municipal experience both in metropolitan Toronto and in other large and small communities right across the province. So it's a lot of experience, and it's quite varied. And I hope to continue putting that experience to work for North Huron. I'd like to point out that I agree with what has been said before about the great accomplishments that we've made in North Huron over the past, actually the 2 past terms of council. And we're very proud of them, and we have every right to expect them to continue. This is a very, very critical election. I think every election is important, but there are some very special areas in which we need to accomplish things that are very rare and very new. I refer, of course, to the Blythe 1419 Committee and that project which has been introduced and publicized so well, I might say, across the province. It's a project that has outreach into many areas. It's not just a matter of culture development. It's a matter of providing jobs and experience and training for our youth and a possibility of retaining youth in worthwhile working positions for many years to come. That's a project that we need to understand well, and the councillors who are representing Blythe Ward must be in a position to explain this project to the rest of council, because we can't do it alone. It takes the concerted effort of all council to achieve a project of that importance. We have some other infrastructure areas in Blythe. Neil Vincent has mentioned the one on Mill Street project. That's a very serious infrastructure project that is really vital for the physical development of the community. But as well, we're looking at creating a new water source, a reliable water source, and a new well to give us water security into the future. Those are very important things to accomplish. There's been a lot of talk about the need to improve our relations with our neighbors. I just want to point out that we have very good relations with our neighbor, Morris Turnberry. We're working together very closely on 3 very important projects. We need to do some work on the cross-border servicing area. We haven't been so successful in completing that, but my stand is that North Huron has done everything possible at this point to reach an agreement. The next move is not ours. So I'd like to ask for your support and for your support. Thank you.
Brad Carther will be the next to speak.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm running for the Blythe Ward. This is a first for me. I've never actually stood up in front of anybody, and I've been going to the meetings for now 3 years. There's a few things I would like to see done if elected. Number one is transparency. Number two is getting in public alley when before the council votes, public has a right to speak, not after we're done. Because after you're done, you can't do nothing about it. And I'd like to see sidewalks clean for all the children in the school area, plus Blythe has a few sidewalks that need it too, for the elderly and those in handicapped wheelchairs. It's tough out there. Not really sure where I'm going because I'm kind of winging them, but I believe in fair, hard work, and I'm working on right now trying to do it for free so I can throw the $50,000 back into the community. I can't guarantee that right now, but that's what I'm striving for. So we can get something and put it in a charity fund to do more for the children, more for the different groups in towns, because we're all one. We're North Huron. We're not just Blythe. We're not just East Wallanosh or just Wing. When one place gets something, they should all have something. And that's where I stand right now. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Third to speak is Bill Knott.
Good evening. I'm really pleased to see the turnout here tonight. This is very encouraging. At our last election, we had so few people, it was almost pathetic to say the least. So thank you all for coming out. This is very encouraging. I personally am not a lifelong resident of North Huron. I'm an immigrant. I came here from the Niagara area where I spent many years, and I'm originally a Toronto native. Politically, I've always been a party supporter at the federal and provincial level, and my involvement, I guess, in municipal politics really began after I moved here. The reason I moved here was I saw a great potential in the area, and I wanted a different lifestyle than the one I was used to. This community has the opportunity to provide that, not just to myself and my family, but to many others. We have to look ahead and try to establish what it is that North Huron can give to the rest of the world, and we have to do that quickly. We can stop running studies which result in basically no action, and we've done lots of those and spent lots of money. And what have we got to show for it in many cases is nothing but a pile of paper. We need to take action, and we need to take it soon. We have a lot of common goals. Although North Huron in itself is 3 distinct areas, wards as we call them, there are a lot of common things that we need to get together and work on. And those are issues that have been here for many, many years. I think that this has come the time now with the changes that have taken place in the last couple of years, both in the municipal offices and in what you see up here with the number of candidates you have. We have an opportunity to move forward. We definitely have to take action. Okay? That is something that, you know, is going to require a little bit more global perspective than just worrying about whether or not we get our sidewalk shoveled tomorrow. I've come from municipalities where, guess what? You want your sidewalk shoveled? Get your shovel out and do it yourself. And that was the law. I don't really see much point in worrying about some of the issues that are being discussed when we have a far, far greater problem to deal with in the future. Money, it's not always how much you spend, it's how you spend it. And we need to really seriously look at some of those issues and expenditures that we do on a day-to-day basis. But I hope that everyone here will take a good, serious look at what we need to do in the future and think about the candidates you see before you and which ones will take us forward. We need to do this now. It's 4 years, not just 4 days. Okay? So think very hard and carefully before you cast your ballot. I appreciate everybody coming out here again. I invite you to all come to Blythe again if you wish. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the speeches.
And the fourth and final speaker for Blythe Ward is Lori McPherson.
Hello, I'm running for the position of councillor in the Blythe Ward. I want to give Blythe a voice. I don't think they have it, and I think they deserve it. I think everyone in North Huron should be able to speak at any council meeting. Your comments are needed, your input's needed, and what's the sense in speaking after the council meeting's over? Everything's already passed, you have nothing to say. The Township of North Huron needs to be open for business. We're closed. Our kids are growing up, they're moving away, we're a ghost town. It needs to change. We've got to open up. We've got to bring people into the area. My opinion is the spending in North Huron is out of control. We need to curb our spending. We need to find ways to save money. It'll lower our taxes, it'll lower expenditures. We need to save money. We're one of the highest taxed people around, and what do we get for it? In my opinion, not a whole lot. I want to see a code of conduct created. Council and staff needs to follow it. They need to be held to the highest standards. And we need to have a community. We can't be 3 wards. We've got to be one. We're all here together. We've got to enjoy it and enjoy life and keep going on. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next, it'll be the candidates for East Wawanush, and they will speak in the following order. James Campbell will go first, James Woodley second, James Taylor third. Are we seeing a pattern here? Fourth will be Tim Walden, fifth Ray Hallahan, and sixth Terry Brake. So first up is James Campbell.
I guess that makes me James the first. I have been a township resident now for 65 years. I know I don't look that old. I have been there. I presently sit on the Maitland Valley Board, and I also sit on the Wingham Police Service Board, which are 2 very important boards that we do look after and we work with in our municipality. I have been a councillor now for 20 years. Sometimes my wife wonders if I'm at home. Sometimes she wishes I wasn't at home. I have been a strong voice for the rural area for many years, and in which this is I'm very much a part of. Economic development is one of the primary issues within our township, whether you are rural or whether you are urban. We need to work together with our neighbors better than we've ever done before. If we're going to move ahead as a group, we need our neighbors, and our neighbors need us. Rural roads are a big concern in the rural area. We have done, I would almost call it a test run this year. We have tarred and chipped one of our busier roads in the municipality just to see how it is going to work. Driving over it, to me, smooth, feels good, and I don't have to see a snowplow scraping stuff off the road. So that is one area in which I would be pushing ahead, is that we would do a few miles in our rural areas every year to bring some of our roads up to standards. I believe in working for the 3 wards, even though we are wards. We are still one voice and one body. And we as a council need to work together to make it one body. There will be times that we will disagree, but at the end of the night, when the motion's made, the motion stands. I will try to be a strong voice in the community. My phone is always on. My door is always open. And if you have any questions or any concerns, I would encourage you to call me. I believe I have many years of experience, which speaks for itself, and I would appreciate your vote with my support. And I'd really like to thank you all for coming. I think this is one of our biggest all candidates meetings that in my 20 years I've ever been at. And to me it shows that there is interest in our community, or else you wouldn't be here tonight.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up is James Woodley. James the second.
That's it, knock everything on the ground here. Thank you. My name is Jim Whitley. I'm like some other person. I'm a transplant from this area. I lived in London my life. I lived in Florida. I've always been a businessman. Up here now I have a business. 4 years ago I run as a candidate, and my platform was get Wingham back working, get good jobs, help the farming community, and help with the taxes, and work with their neighbors. And 4 years later, the reason why I'm standing here is because I haven't seen it. I'm a businessman, and I talk to my other fellow business people, and we're all struggling. We're all trying to figure out what's the next golden bullet. Every week I have somebody coming in crying for a job, looking for it. I just kind of came to the conclusion at the last minute to put my name back in here because I didn't see it. And I'm seeing my friends, I'm seeing our families, I'm seeing kids and their sons and daughters move away, families being broken up, people traveling on planes for miles, and I just wanted to do something about it. And I figured if I can get here, speak my voice and say, we need to get Wingham back working, we need to get businesses here, and we need to get everything back on track. And that's the reason why I'm standing up here talking and looking at y'all today. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you very much. Third, James Taylor.
Thank you very much, Chair Pauline. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow candidates, I can remember when I ran before, we pretty much had to search the side roads to get people to turn out, so it's a good job to see so many people turning out and wanting to fill these positions. I have been a lifelong resident of East Wallinash, farming for too long, I think maybe. I'm pretty well retired now, so I do have time to devote to municipal politics, so that's why I ran. On the ballot you will see James L. Taylor because there's at least 4 or 5 Jim Taylors in this area, so I went with my full name. I attended SS number 9 Curry School where I got most of my education or lack of it. I also attended F.E. Medill, and that was mainly to play football, I think. Community work that I've done is serve on the Fall Supper Committee, which we just had a Fall Supper, and it was a tremendous success, and I'd like to thank all the people that helped with it, especially the turkey people, because I'm the big turkey. I get the turkeys. Also, Belgrave School Fair. I help out at Belgrave School Fair, and Pauline down here, she judges too at the school fairs, so that's when we got together this year. Also coached ball and enjoyed playing a lot of ball and sports. I look around here and I see at least a few that I played with and really enjoyed that. My main platform, is agriculture. That's what I did and that's what I enjoyed doing. And I hate to see agriculture stifled in any way because I think coming up we're going to see with the increase in land values, we've got to be careful to keep things in proportion because it's very easy to tax land because it doesn't run away and it doesn't die. So that's a place that taxes can be put on. And roads, yeah. Farmers need roads, that's one thing for sure. All places need roads, but especially the farmers need their roads in good shape, clean to get the milk out or to get their produce to market. So we've got to keep maintaining the roads and improving them. We also need fire police protection. And I'd ask for your support for the coming election. Thank you.
And our fourth speaker is Tim Walden.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by asking everyone here tonight to not tell my wife that I was here tonight. She thinks I went to a hockey game. She'd be a little angry with me. You know what it can be like. Yeah. Anyways, a lot of you will recognize my name, Tim Walden. The Walden family's been part of East Waminash for well over 100 years. It's been a respected family. I live there with my wife Maria, who works in the community in the Ontario Early Years program, and with my 4 children. I've worked for the Region of Waterloo for almost 15 years now, and in my role there I've supported all of the various departments at the region, including police services, emergency management, engineering, planning, public health, and social services. As part of that role, I help evaluate vendor solutions, application solutions worth millions of dollars every year. Some of the priorities for the township itself, I think we need to stabilize taxes by prioritizing capital spending. We have a limited tax base and we can't keep increasing taxes. People can't handle more tax burden. We need to work with neighboring municipalities in the county to develop a viable economic plan to attract businesses and industry to this area to provide good paying jobs for future generations. In short, I'm not just running to represent the citizens of East Waminash. I'm running to build a stronger bond between the 3 wards of North Huron. I'm running to build a stronger relationship between our neighboring municipalities. I'm running to build a stronger community for future generations. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And Ray Hallahan?
Welcome everyone here tonight. I'm Ray Hallahan. I've lived in the municipality of North Huron all my life. In farming, ran a small construction company. Worked for the County of Huron as construction foreman for a number of years. And now I guess you could say maybe I'm retired, although I do farm and I do have a bulldozer, so I guess I'm not. I have always been interested in this community. A few years ago I had a term on council, but due to my work it was taken away, or I had to leave home, and so I could no longer serve. So now I'm back again and serving on council again in this term. I have been a volunteer with the Huron Pioneer Thrashers, excuse me, Huron Pioneer Thrashers and Hobby Association for 53 years, 3 times president, and working with them. You're also working with the church groups and the service clubs. The issues that I see in the East Waminash ward and in the municipality as a whole is, of course, taxes, which just seems to be, it's an ongoing thing. Serving on this council was a lot different than serving on the council a few years ago. I can say I think the money was flowing from the upper governments, the federal, provincial governments, but now that has dried up, and it is far, I think to me it is very much difficult. I'm not going to go in and I'm not going to go into detail as to what this council will have in now of all their accomplishments, but I feel as though that I would like to mention a few, and that is that we've completed our comprehensive review. We did our strategic plan. We did some hard surfacing program that was initiated this year, and that it's a must that it has to keep going with the next council. The residents, all the residents of East Waminash deserves good roads, whether they're farming, whether they're working off the farm, going to work, or whether they're taking their kids to hockey. I think that's very important. The other thing is, I think that when something happens in another ward and it works and it's doing good, we got to remember that that helps the other 2 wards.
Time.
Again, I just ask for your support on October 27th. Thank you.
Okay, and our 6th and final speaker for East Wawanash, Terry Brake.
Hi, my name is Terry Brake. I've been living here for approximately 5 years. I'm an immigrant to this community. I'm a member and the director of the Ontario Landowners Association, and I like the small town feel. But what I don't like is how the red tape is killing the community. This is why I'm running for a position of councillor for the East Wawanash ward. I believe that we need change not only in our ward, but all 3 of the wards. I have seen and had to deal with firsthand the red tape and the bureaucracy that the people have to go through just to get some of the information. If I'm elected, I'll make sure that I'll work with Laurie McPherson to make sure that our Hoop House Greenhouse project gets all the necessary approvals. For the last 2.5 years, the township has stalled this job creator. This would create over 200 jobs. This is just red tape has to stop. The roads in East Wawanash have to be brought up to standards. We keep wasting a non-renewable resource, which is gravel. I would like to bring up to council's attention that a bylaw 82/2008 is illegal and needs to be repealed. This bylaw is affecting all farmers in the East Wawanash roads and puts infringements on their rights of their lands. The township has to repeal this bylaw because it's illegal on its merits of the Municipal Act of 2014. It states if you don't own the land, you cannot control it. We'd like to make sure that the landfill in our ward remains open and that recycling bins are actually put back in. I'd like your support on October 27th. Thank you.
And thank you so much. There are some people standing at the back. We have 6 empty seats up here at the front. In fact, we have a couple more. So anybody who'd like to sit down, we'd welcome you up here. You get a bird's eye view. And we only had 1 taker. Our final group of speakers hope to represent Wingham Ward. We'll have the following speakers in this order: Yolanda Ritzma-Taninga, Trevor Sipe, Rod Galbraith, and Robert Harth. So first up, Yolanda.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you to the Wingham Legion for the use of this building tonight, and to Pauline for taking the time to facilitate our meeting. This is an important meeting, given the important decisions to be made in this coming election, and I'm glad to see so many community members in attendance. I chose to run for council in North Huron because I believe in this community. I believe in what could be, and I clearly see the potential that North Huron has to offer. I wonder, what could we do? What could we do to accomplish together to impact our community positively if we put aside our personal agendas and listened? Listen to what each of us has to offer and listen to our constituents. I believe we need to put aside the political shows and pursue the best ideas for the greater good of the entire community. I was born and raised in the area, and I went to school here. After I graduated from university, my husband and I chose to return to this area for work and to raise our 2 young children. This is a great community to live in. There are a lot of wonderful services offered, all the amenities of larger centers, but with that coveted small town atmosphere. I currently work for the Center for Employment and Learning. I have worked in a variety of areas, including education, small business, and the financial and municipal sectors. I am a very active volunteer in my church as both the Children's Ministry Director and Safe Church Coordinator. A few years ago, I completed a Community Opportunity Services scan. I spoke with a number of key leaders, including church, business, and community, to determine what was working well and what areas needed improvement. This opportunity gave me invaluable insights into the current issues facing our community today. Issues including, but not limited to, poverty, unemployment, mental health, an aging population, decreasing government funding, and an increased need to be competitive for those shrinking funding dollars. I understand the challenges and the issues facing this area. I have been attending council meetings for some time, and I look forward to working alongside fellow councillors and staff to continue to build our economic growth, making us attractive for development and investment, and keeping us sustainable for the long term. Attracting and retaining young families to North Huron is important if we hope to grow and thrive. Creating an inviting environment that cares for our seniors, honoring and valuing their importance to our town's culture is also vital. We need to put our focus on working together, serving each other selflessly. North Huron is a great community. We have so much to offer, and I believe there is more potential to be tapped into. Think of the possibilities that could be by building on our strong past. Let's continue the conversation.
Thank you so much. I do think I forgot our fifth and final speaker, Brent Mills, but Trevor Sipe is on next.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Trevor Sipe, and I'm a candidate for the position of councillor in the Wingham Ward. My passion for this community over the past 10 years is ongoing and can be seen through my dedicated volunteering. My volunteer efforts include being the vice chair currently of the Wingham District Hospital. I'm an active member of the Western Ontario Athletic Association Board of Directors, and also this year's homecoming treasurer. I have offered my time to the Musical Muskrat Festival and being a member of the Wingham Hitmen, who've reinvested funds into the community through their annual slow pitch tournament. Tonight you'll hear a number of issues that the municipality has been facing during the last year and a half I've been going to council meetings. You'll hear a lot of opinions and on easy solutions. I have a fresh perspective on these issues and don't believe making quick solutions without looking at the big picture. What is best for the municipality, what's best for the ratepayers, is my focus. My pledge to you, if elected, is to be open-minded, dedicated and accountable to the decisions that are made within the council, and work with our partners to ensure that all benefits are shown by all those, to ensure that all benefits for those decisions. I stand before you tonight with a belief that everyone in the municipality has a voice, and that voice should be treated as a valued part of this community and should be respected. We may not agree with everybody's statement or opinions, but we need to respect them. It is easy to make opinions, but it's much harder to provide solutions. I want to be and believe that I can be part of that one solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our third speaker is Rob Galbraith.
Thank you, Pauline. I want to thank the Advance Wingham Time for sponsoring this All Candidates meeting tonight. And I want to thank each and every one of you that have taken time out of your busy schedules to come here tonight. I thought there'd be 20 or 30, and I wasn't nervous when I walked in and I saw the people and I met the Reeve and Bernie Bailey and other councillors here and business owners. And so I said, no, I think I can deal with this. And then I went to take a drink of water and I poured half it down my shirt here and missed my mouth. So my background, I'm Rod Galbraith, I'm running for Wingham Ward. My background is I've been a resident and homeowner in Wingham for almost 10 years. Wingham's also a hometown for my wife Candace, and I've always felt that Wingham is a very special place, and I love living here. I'm originally from Moncton, New Brunswick.
Prior to moving to Ontario in 1980, I was a member of the local school board there. I volunteered if somebody had to leave for personal reasons. And so I was on the board. After I moved to Ontario, I was very active in volunteer service for 10 years with Christian Blind Mission in Stouffville, Ontario. My post-secondary education is McMaster University in Hamilton, alma mater. I'm also a designated certified municipal manager from the Ontario Municipal Management Institute in Oshawa, Ontario. This is an education program directed primarily at senior level CEOs and managers employed by municipal government. I'm a retired police officer with the Halton Regional Police, 31 years service out of Oakville. And for the past 8 years, I've been employed as a school bus driver with Montgomery Bus Lines here in Wingham. And that's where I got all my gray hair, right there. The following are what I believe the top 3 issues facing our municipality. Sound and conservative financial management of your taxes. To that end, I will not support any new taxes if I'm fortunate enough to be, if you support me. I will not support any new budget that exceeds the annual rate of inflation. I just believe that we should operate the same way we all operate our household finances. If I can't afford it, I don't buy it. It's just the way it is, and I think it should stay that way. And I think that's just my position. Economic development. 80% of the jobs in Ontario are provided by small business. And to that end, I fully support the small businesses that are currently established here in Wingham. And I want to encourage entrepreneurs and business owners to set up shop in Wingham and North Huron. I do support the BIAs here fully and in Blythe, and the ongoing work of the Business Advisory Committee. Now, the last thing is infrastructure. I think it's vital. Roads, water, and sewer. It's not a very glamorous topic, but I think the degrading infrastructure, it has to be addressed. There's shrinking dollars coming in from other sources. It's going to require a lot of hard work, a lot of good money management, and we need to take advantage of provincial and federal funding programs and grants as they become available and we can afford them. Thank you for your time. Rod Galbraith, if you haven't voted yet, I appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Our fourth speaker is Robert Harth.
Hi, good evening. My name is Robert Harth. For those of you that don't know me, I grew up and was raised in Galt, Ontario. It was a very small town with a very community aspect. Everybody knew your name, and everybody was not afraid to say hello, and everybody was friendly. I'm a child of a single mother, so I understand the hardships in trying to make ends meet. And one of the things that I'm going to stand for is to talk with local industry and work with local industry and say, what can we do as a council? What can we do as a community? I'm also a big community supporter. My grandfather in Cambridge, my great-grandfather, was a twice honored veteran in the First World War. I was very inspired by him when I was being raised. He taught me about patriotism, not only in the line of battle, but also in your community that you belong to. And there are a few things that a patriot doesn't do. A patriot doesn't badmouth his community. A patriot embraces their community. And I would encourage you all to come together. This is a great place to live. I love living here. I moved away from Cambridge because it got overdeveloped, and I found people that I didn't know anymore. And it was a scary place because it's like, how can you live somewhere and not feel wanted or not feel like it was a welcome mat? And I moved here and I made lots of friends, and I made lots of colleagues in business. And I noticed one thing about them: they're all very proud of this community, as well as the BIA. I support the BIA, the local small business. But I understand that we're all struggling. When I first moved here, this town was vital. We had 2 Westcast plants going. We had Royal Homes had 2 shifts going. And it was busy, and it was vibrant, and there was money to be spread around. But what I've sensed from business owners now is that piece of pie is getting smaller all the time. And we've got to do something. We've got to talk to local business and say, what can we do? And this is not, one of the challenges that I know I'm going to face is the worldwide stage. We got to stop broadcasting our dirt and our faults. We got to get over our wounds and start coming together as a community and say, this is a great place to live. And this is a great place to bring your business, bring your industry to us, and let us see what we can do for you. Also, I want to see communication between the council and the community.
Time.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. Brent Mills is our final speaker.
Good evening, folks. It's nice to see such a turnout. My name's Brent Mills. I'm excavating contractor from town. I have over 40 years experience in infrastructure, in dealing with people, dealing with problems, dealing with drainage. I find that one of our biggest issues facing this town is fixing and keeping up with the infrastructure. It's a very important issue in my mind. And the other is the loss of our workforce. We're losing workforce by the day. Whether it be young people or older people, we can't afford to lose these people. We must fill some of these stores up downtown. We must get something moving. It's very discouraging to me. I think we, as council, are closest to the people, and you should be openly, readily available to come to us with your problems, and we should be ready to take on problems, ideas, and it's just very important to this whole town to get this town working again, because it's not clicking right at this point in time, and I'd certainly like to be there to help you do it. Thank you.
And I think a round of applause again for all the speakers. I think we've heard a variety of views, a variety of plans for the future. After the break, you'll have your opportunity to ask questions. I request that you address a question to either a specific candidate or a group of candidates. That means the candidates for Reeve or for a specific ward. I think there's just so many people, it would not be fair to ask everyone to answer a question. The question can is at the back. If you wish to ask one, put your name on a slip of paper. We'll draw the names at random. That, again, there are so many of you here. It's wonderful to see. That's the fair way of doing it. A couple of more points. A microphone will be supplied for you to ask questions. It's at the front. There is a chair there. There's no need for everybody to gather around it. We'll request that you keep the questions positive and keep them brief. Any question that is insulting or defamatory, we'll stop you. That's not fair to these fine people on the stage. Again, break. It's about 15 minutes, and thank you very much.